Hello everybody, Belated again here to share with you my MLP cross Star Trek episodes. Big shout out to Zelatin Spunk, whose comment on my Season 4 Plus wishlist gave me the idea to do this. Unfortunately I couldn't think of too many Q Discord episode ideas. I know a lot of Discord fans won't be too happy about that. Rather than just say Star Trek episodes I like, such as the Diaz cast or Trials and Tribulations, I've tried to keep these episodes as grounded in the MLP universe as it is now going into Season 4. I've even found an episode from the series that's more considered a fanfiction than any other, which is a good segue to start this list. In the Enterprise episode A Night in Sickbay, Porthos encounters a disease while on an alien planet, and Captain Archer goes through the emotions while Phlox tries to treat him. What I see they could do is Applejack and Winona are out apple bucking, and then Applejack accidentally dislodges a branch from a tree which then lands on Winona. Then while Fluttershy is treating Winona, Applejack goes through the emotions or tries to hide them with her work, which she's not able to do because she's distracted. It would be a good Applejack episode and provide some backstory to both Applejack and Winona. But I know what you're thinking. What about Porthos?
Porthos will live.
In the Next Generation episode, Yesterday's Enterprise, the USS Enterprise C falls through a rip in space-time to the time of the Enterprise D, which changes the course of events between those two times. Now we all know in the My Little Pony universe, Celestia defeated Nightmare Moon by using the elements of harmony to banish her to the moon. But what if Nightmare Moon defeated Celestia? Like if when Celestia used the elements of harmony they backfired, throwing Celestia 1,000 years into the future to when the events of Friendship is Magic started, but the history of Equestria is different. So instead of Celestia taking over the night and day, Nightmare Moon kept Equestria in eternal night, and the main six are the leaders of a resistant movement, which Twilight is the John Connor of the group. And the young Celestia has to get to know these ponies and the history of this world while trying to find a way back to her time to set the timeline straight. It would be an interesting possibility in my opinion, and it would answer the question of how Celestia knew that Twilight Sparkle could use the elements of harmony and find 5 other ponies that could use the elements of harmony. Now I'm sure we all know who the greatest bad guy in Star Trek history is. Okay, can. But the most intimidating was the Borg, and the most intimidating Borg of them all was Locutus. For those of you who don't know, a year after Q introduced Picard and the Enterprise crew to the Borg, they were sent to investigate attacks on various colonies on the outskirts of Federation space. After searching several colonies, Enterprise found a Borg ship which then kidnapped Picard, turned him into Locutus of Borg, then set a course for Earth. Now My Little Pony has the Alicorn amulet, but we don't know where it came from. So one thing they could do is the people whose nation made it kidnap Twilight Sparkle, put the amulet on her and make her their queen. As for Locutus, the episode is called Best of Both Worlds, I won't spoil any more for you. As many people have pointed out in the past, Princess Cadance and Shining Armour are the two most underdeveloped characters in MLP. Seriously, my flank is more developed than them. I think a Star Trek crossover could remedy that, because in Voyager episode Alice, Lieutenant Paris ignores his duties as helm officer, field medic and his marriage to B'Elanna for a ship that he found in a scrapyard. Throughout the episode, Paris gradually goes crazy until it is revealed that the ship has some fancy technology that has got into his head and is controlling him. So they could probably have it that Shining Armour is restoring an old cart that is cursed, and then he becomes more obsessed with it until Cadance has to save him in some way. You could even add in some Stephen King's Christine for some added scare factor. Now this is a Q Discord episode. Unfortunately these two episodes are both so good I couldn't decide between them, but they're both two ends of the same coin so I combined them. In Hide and Q, Q offers Will Riker the power of a Q and a place in the Q continuum. Then in Deja Q, the Q continuum revoked Q's powers, forcing him to live as a human. So I think an episode where Discord loses his power and has to live with the ponies in Ponyville would be really good. While Discord's powers are given to some pony else, although who that would be I'm unsure because Spike is Twilight's right-hand man, like Riker's Picard, so it sounds like an obvious choice. Although who would get the power is up for debate, so is whether Discord turns into a pony or remains in his chaotic form. A lot to work out, but I think it would be really good. Like I said in my last video, Luna is my favourite MLP character. Also, Deep Space Nine is my favourite Star Trek series, and now I found a way to combine the two which would just be awesome. Although I need to explain a little about Ezri, because she's a Trill, and Trills have slugs that live inside them that move into a different person when the previous host died and the memories of the previous host combine with the new host. Kind of like the Go Old in Stargate, only the two consciousness combine rather than the serpent taking over. And Ezri's slug is called Dax, and in the episode Field of Fire, Ezri has to call up the memories of Dax's previous host Joran when someone threatens the station because Joran killed someone. So an episode where someone threatens Canterlot or Equestria, and then Luna has to get in touch with her memories of Nightmare Moon, and then interacts with Nightmare Moon despite only being in her mind. And it would be a good way for Luna to come to terms with her troubled past. Hasbro, do it! Please! This is another time travel one, however I think it will take a few more series for it to work. Because in Voyager episode Shattered, the ship enters a space-time anomaly which puts the ship in various points in time from the ship's construction to when it's a museum back on Earth, and Chakotay is the only one who can go through the ship. So I think an episode where Ponyville is in various time periods and Twilight Sparkle and or Spike is the only one who can move through the village could be interesting. In 2 or 3 seasons time, after there has been more character and world development. So that's my ideas for My Little Pony cross with Star Trek episodes. And now I'd like to ask, what Star Trek episodes do you think could cross into MLP? Maybe there's an episode I've just forgotten or missed entirely. Apart from that, like, subscribe or comment on this video. Also, since next week is the week of Halloween, I'll be doing a video of My Little Pony crossed with horror.